Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's LinkedIn Live. I'm Chris Bartholomew, the project lead for LangStream, the LangStream project, and I'm joined by Enrico Olivelli, who's the development lead for the project. Today, we're going to be talking about LangStream, give you an overview and a demo of what you can build with LangStream. So this is just an overview of what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about what is LangStream, then how you can use it, why you'd want to use it. We'll give you a quick high-level architecture overview of LangStream. Talk about an example application you can build with LangStream. Enrico will do a cool demo, and then we'll wrap it up at the end. So what is LangStream? First of all, LangStream is not just a library. It's a framework for developing generative AI, LLM-based applications, but it's also a runtime environment for those applications. It also includes data integration capabilities, so you can bring in relevant and recent data to your Gen AI application. It's powered by technology that's proven in production. Everyone's heard of this technology: Kubernetes, Kafka, and Kafka Connect. What else is LangStream? It's a Gen AI integration platform. We have lots of integrations and lots of different Gen AI components that we support, and we continue to add some on a daily basis, it seems. So from an LLM perspective, for a large language model, you can call large language models from OpenAI, Hugging Face, Google Vertex AI, and we're working on AWS Bedrock support right now. We also integrate directly with vector databases, because this is often an important piece of your Gen AI application. Today, we support Pinecone, Milvus, and Cassandra AstraDB. For embedding services, so you can get your vector embeddings for your vector database, we support OpenAI, Hugging Face, Google Vertex AI, and AWS Bedrock coming soon. With Hugging Face, you can call the Hugging Face API and get an embedding, or you can download an open source embedding model and run it locally inside LangStream. We also include, it's important, the moment of truth for any kind of Gen AI application, LLM application, is the prompt that you send to the LLM. So we include tooling to build prompt templates and have easy ways for you to engineer your prompts and inject the data, your recent data, your data from event streams, your data from your databases. We also support other functionalities such as similarity search re-ranking, which helps improve the quality of the results that you do when you're using patterns like retrieval augmented generation. LangStream is also designed for rapid development and deployment. So we include configuration-driven no-code agents for rapid prototyping. You can build an entire LangStream application without writing any code outside of some YAML configuration files. But if that's not good enough for you, if you have some custom logic or you need to do something out of the ordinary, you can write agents in Python, including them in your LangStream application using popular libraries like LangChain and LlamaIndex. These are preloaded into the LangStream runtime. You can actually mix and match your configuration-driven agents and your Python agents, so you can kind of get the best of both worlds. We continue to try to build more and more developer-friendly tooling that allow you to develop locally on your laptop, and then deploy applications to different environments. We support working with structured data, such as queries from databases, and more importantly, unstructured data, your text files, your PDF, your HTML, your websites, those kind of things. You can gather all that data, bring it together in LangStream, and use it in your Gen AI application. And developer-friendly, as I mentioned already, we're constantly trying to make LangStream easier to use for developers with the eye to getting the code developed and prototyped and then moving it to a production-like environment. And lastly, what is LangStream? Event-driven real-time architecture. We think this is important way to build applications today using event-driven architectures. They have a lot of inherent properties that are very useful for production environments, like ability to scale, robustness, fault recovery, extensibility. These things are all kind of parts of an event-driven architecture that are problems that are already solved. Event-driven architectures also support asynchronous processing. You don't have to do a request-reply pattern. You can do asynchronous processing, which actually often leads to increased performance. We can do micro-batching in the agents, and we can improve the way we handle messages and data as it flows through the system. The agents are built with observability in mind. Every agent has a Prometheus metrics endpoint, and we have logging using Kubernetes logging. So once you have a LangStream application up and running, you have options for observing it in production and understanding what's happening. And of course, because we're event-driven, we allow you to build new patterns of applications, new kinds of applications that are responsive, reactive, using GenAI techniques. And lastly, what is LangStream? It's open source. It's licensed under the Apache 2 license. We have open community discussions in our Slack channel, and we have open roadmap in GitHub in our repository, which is listed there, LangStream org, LangStream repository. So what are the kind of things you can use LangStream for? One popular thing is real-time vector embedding pipelines. One of the major problems that people find is when you're using a vector database is actually the data is not static. You don't just put the vector embeddings in your database once. The data is constantly changing. And so you need to have a way to update the data and to add new data to your database easily. And those are the kind of pipelines you can easily build with LangStream. Chatbots are very, very popular. Chatbots with memory, conversational memory awareness is something you can easily build in LangStream. We have support for that. Q&A over private data with retrieval augmented generation is an important category. We have lots of tooling, lots of pre-built agents for that kind of a pattern. It's very popular. Text summary pipelines, you can drop your PDF files in S3 bucket and have an LLM automatically summarize them, store them in a database. One interesting use of LangStream is something I call the chatty chatbot. Typical chatbot would be a question, request, reply. You ask a question to the chatbot and it sends you a response. Because LangStream is event-driven and two-way communication, we can have a conversation type aware chatbot that can send you messages without you asking a question. This is useful for sort of getting the chatbot to maybe keep the conversation going, to interject with interesting facts that it's discovered about you. And lastly, you can build autonomous agents. Because everything is event-driven and decoupled, it's easy to have agents go off and do work and come back later and give you an answer. And all of that would be fault tolerant and scalable. So why would you use LangStream? Well, first of all, LangStream is built on proven production technology like Kubernetes and Kafka. You get the ability to do rapid prototypes with no-code agents. You have the option of using custom agents written in Python using LangChain and LlamaIndex. We take into consideration the whole life cycle of a GenAI application. So we think about, and we have tooling for doing development of applications, getting those applications into a test environment, for example, and then deploying them into a production environment. LangStream uses and leverages the strengths of event-driven architectures. And it's a project where we're developer-focused, trying to help developers build high-quality production applications. So here's just a quick high-level architecture of LangStream. LangStream is actually implemented as a Kubernetes operator. You need Kubernetes as a dependency. The development environment, we have simplified that so you can run all of this in a single Docker container. But in production, you'd want to have Kubernetes. You install the LangStream operator. You need a streaming service such as Kafka or Pulsar to connect your agents. They can talk to each other. The agents run in Kubernetes as pods and perform certain actions and communicate with each other through Kafka. The LangStream control plane also runs in Kubernetes. And we have something called the WebSocket Gateway. I think this is important for people building applications. Although we're using stream processing technology like Kafka, Pulsar, typically you don't want to have to include those client APIs in your application. So we made it a lot easier by building a gateway that will basically translate from Kafka messages into WebSocket messages, which are widely supported. You can do WebSockets in the browser. So you have a lot of flexibility for building a WebSocket-based application using LangStream. And then there's all these external services that we integrate with, AI services, like I mentioned, vector databases, regular databases. That's the high-level architecture of LangStream. So let's just talk a little bit about the kind of application you can build with LangStream. This is a RAG, or a retrieval augmented generation chatbot with streaming responses. And when I say streaming responses, I mean when you call the LLM, you don't have to wait for the complete response to the question or the text that you sent. The LLM, some LLMs, not all, some of them will start streaming out the words in the response one at a time, the tokens. And because LangStream is event-driven and works on streaming technology, we can easily stream those responses back to the user. So let's just take a look at sort of the flow of this application. And this is what Enrico is going to demonstrate soon. You're going to receive a question, and then you're going to calculate a vector embedding for that question. The database, the vector database, already has your knowledge base, all your data in there that's with vector embeddings, so that it forms the base to search against. So we take the question, we turn that into a vector embedding, and then we use that vector from the question to perform a similarity search on the database. You take the results from those similarity searches, that similarity search, and you put it into the prompt using prompt templating. And then once you have the response back from the LLM, you send the response or the completion, or you stream it out in this case, from the LLM to your chatbot application. Now, Enrico will go into more details on what this is. I just wanted to show you at a high level, because I know it's too small to read here, is the configuration that's required to define this chatbot part of the application. There's a configuration file called configuration.yaml that shows how you connect to your vector database. And then the chatbot itself is defined in this other YAML file, which fits easily on one page, including if you see at the bottom there, the prompt template. Like I said, Enrico will show more detail on this in the IDEs in his demo. So speaking of that, let's switch to the demo. I'm going to turn it over to Enrico to go and walk through application, how you would run one and build one in LangStream.
Sure. Let me share my screen. Yes, so we're going to build in a couple of minutes a chatbot that allows you to ask to LangStream about LangStream itself. So this is a very common use case, Q&A chatbot over your documentation of your products. So we are going to run LangStream in a Docker container, so you don't have to really start Kubernetes or have a real Kubernetes cluster. The command is pretty simple. There is a CLI tool. You can install it with brew. So brew install LangStream. And then you can run it. It's starting. In this case, it's starting locally one Kafka broker, a vector database, and an embedded vector database, and the application. As soon as it is ready, you will see the browser popping up with the local development UI. And so we are going to ask questions about the documentation. Yeah, here we go. So this is the local development UI. You can see your application. This is the actual representation of the application. And you can see a flow chart with the pipelines. As Chris mentioned, we have two pipelines. One is the crawler that basically reads from the website and writes to a vector database. And the other pipeline reads from users answers to the questions of the user. Using the same UI, we can connect to the WebSocket gateway, and we can type our questions. What is LangStream? And as you can see, the answer is coming one word at a time. Yes, as mentioned, as Chris mentioned, here we are asking to OpenAI about LangStream, and this is not using the previous knowledge of OpenAI, because OpenAI as GPT has been trained only on data up to 2021. So we are using the data that is coming from the website that has been indexed. We can ask any kind of questions. For instance, how can I crawl a website? So basically, I'm asking to LangStream how to build this same chatbot to crawl a website using LangStream project. You can use the web crawler source agent, and this is an example. So he's explaining how to use it itself. Let's see. So this is actually a pipeline that yes, actually it will work to do this. Good. So let's see in the IDE how this works. So we have two pipeline files. One is the web crawler pipeline. So initially we define the table in the vector database. This is a simple SQL statement in this case. And then we start crawling the website. I'm crawling docs.langstream AI. Then we perform a few steps that are very common in text processing. So for instance, we extract the text from the HTML files. We are using Apache Tika in this case, and Apache Tika has many automatic conversions between for PDF files, HTML, Word, and many other popular document formats. It's only a matter of writing one line, then normalizing the text, so removing spaces, removing uppercase letters. We can detect the language. In this case, we want to keep only English and French documents. In this case, the documentation is all English. Then another important step is to split the text into chunks, because you cannot index huge web pages, because when you build the prompt, you have to you have a very limited space in the prompt. So a very common technique is to split the pages into chunks, and then we convert this unstructured document to a document with a structure as a JSON document with fields. We prepare the record, and then we add an embedding vector computed over the chunk, and then we are ready to write to the vector database. There is an agent for any task. So writing database, computing embeddings, it's no code, only with YAML you can configure your pipeline. The second pipeline is the chat. So we start from the question that is free text, and we create a JSON structure, we compute the embedding vector, and then we can query the LLM, the vector database, and perform a similarity search. We can re-rank the results. From the vector database, we get only 20 documents, but we want to keep only 5 that are more relevant using a different technique. So usually vector databases, they use similarity, but that's not enough to have good results. And then we query the LLM. So as you can see, this is the prompt. We are using Mustache, that is a popular language to render text, and then we can write the answer to the final user. So it's pretty easy, and in 5 minutes you can build this kind of chatbots. Please.
Okay, great. Enrico. One thing I'll point out about this demo is that the database was not pre-populated with any information. This was an empty database. So the crawling of the website and these pipelines can work in parallel. So while Enrico was asking questions from the chatbot, it was probably still doing some work crawling the website and putting new vectors into the database. This is we didn't cheat here by pre-populating the database with vectors.
Exactly.
Okay, so in summary, LangStream lets you build and run Gen AI applications. It has rapid development capabilities with no-code options. It supports popular LLM and AI platforms such as Google, Vertex AI, OpenAI, Hugging Face. Because we can mix and match no-code and Python-based agents, it complements what you can do with LangChain and Llama Index. LangStream is powered by Kubernetes and Kafka, proven technologies, and you get benefits of its event-driven architecture for free. Last thing I'll say is, open source project. It would be great to help spread the word and make LangStream more visible to more people. So we ask if you could go in and start the repo. That would be great. Help us spread the word and get the word out there. We have a Slack channel. You can always talk to myself or Enrico in the Slack channel. You can find on the GitHub repo links to join the Slack channel and have join the community and talk to us. Thanks so much for coming to our LinkedIn Live. Hope that you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions, contact us in Slack. Bye.